Hi, I'm Bernie Frischer, a professor in the Department of Informatics, and I'm director of the Virtual Heritage track. Virtual Heritage is a new field at Indiana University, and indeed, it's new to North America. Today, my goal is to give you a snapshot about what we do and why it's useful. Let's start with the definition. Virtual heritage refers to the study of how information technology can be applied in pursuit of the traditional goals of cultural heritage professionals. The discovery, recording, restoration, analysis, interpretation, and transmission of our tangible heritage, that is, any and all three-dimensional human creations from the small scale of a cylinder seal, vase, or statue to the larger scale of a building, settlement, or entire cultural landscape. The workflow in virtual heritage typically starts with making a 3D digital replica of the cultural heritage object of interest. If the object has been damaged, as is often the case, we next use digital tools to propose a hypothesis of restoration. The digital restoration is then typically put into a game engine so that it can be viewed in real time, whether via web browsers on PCs or on headsets for virtual or augmented reality. Why is virtual heritage useful? There are three fundamental reasons: research, education, and preservation. Let's start with research. For scholars in traditional fields of cultural heritage, such as archaeology and art history, it has never been possible to undertake empirical research for the simple reason that we cannot go back in time to make observations and to run experiments. But once we have reconstructed a past environment, virtual time travel becomes possible, and so does empirical research. As an example, let me cite our virtual Meridian project. This concerns the relationship between two key monuments of ancient Rome during the reign of the first emperor, Augustus. The monuments in question are a 100-foot-high obelisk brought all the way to Rome from Egypt in 9 BC, and the altar of peace, which was completed in the same year. As the plan on this slide shows, the two monuments were built fairly close together in the city, had the same orientation, and the obelisk stood on an extension of the axis of symmetry of the altar. In 1976, a German scholar proposed that the two monuments are sited in such a way that the shadow of the obelisk moved into the altar on the afternoon of the emperor's birthday. This theory has been hotly and inconclusively debated for over 4 decades. In Rome today, you cannot simply test the theory by observation, the obvious thing you might think to do, because the monuments have been restored and re-erected very far from their original locations in the ancient city. The technologies and methodology of virtual heritage came to the rescue. As you can see in this slide, we were able to make models of the two monuments, the landscape, and even the sky, put them into a game engine for viewing on the web. This then allowed us to test the theory. As you watch this simulation, and the simulation, the key moment is starting now, you want to look at the shadow of the obelisk and see whether it goes up the stairs into the altar as the theory predicted. And what you're going to see, I know what you're going to see, is that it's not going to quite happen. The theory is off by just a little bit, but in fact the shadow veers off to the right and does not go inside. So we'd have to say close but no cigar about this theory. Our Uffizi IU 3D digitization project exemplifies the usefulness of virtual heritage for education and preservation. In December of 2015, we were invited by the Uffizi to digitize in 3D all the hundreds of Greek and Roman statues in the collection. The goals of the project are to use this opportunity for training IU graduate students to make state models of each sculpture in the collection and to publish the models on the Uffizi's public website and on our lab's own website, which you're now seeing on the slide. As you can see, thus far in the first 2 of our 5 years, we have digitized over 200 statues, and we have created our project website, which will be publicly launched later this year. The project illustrates how virtual heritage is useful for museum education and outreach. Now anyone in the world can see the Uffizi statues close up and from any point of view. The particular statue group that we're seeing now on this slide can even be better viewed online than in the museum itself because it's kept in a room called the Tribuna, which visitors may not enter but only look at from a doorway. At the same time, the potential shows the project for virtual heritage for preservation. As this 3D print of a bust from the Uffizi shows, once we have a 3D model, we can, if we like, print out or even mill out in marble a highly accurate replica of a work of art at any scale. This can allow us to supplement a damaged work of art or even, if the need arises, to replace a work of art with an accurate physical copy. Well, there's much more that I could talk about today, but I hope this brief overview tells you what we mean by virtual heritage and has whetted your appetite to learn more. Thank you very much.